All right, welcome everyone to the iNRS Racing Series here on Thursday nights. We are tonight in Las Vegas for the first race in the round of 8. Thanks for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network. I'm Rick Souza here in the booth with John DeRudris, and John, this is getting exciting.
It's getting very exciting. We're getting down to the wire here now in the round of 8, and excited to see what happens once these drivers start to dwindle down to the championship 4. So this is the first race in the round of 8, and let's talk about who's in the playoffs. So Jordan Booth right now is first, plus 58. Right behind him in second is Jordan Wenzel, plus 39. Corey Bunch, plus 21 in third, with Alex Forget plus 6 to the good in P4. Now we're talking about drivers below the cut line. You have Vernon Broadbeck minus 6, Alex Murphy in 6th minus 11, Michael Whitley minus 11 in P7, and Simon Madgen right there minus 13 in P8. Now let me tell you something. Plus 58 and plus 39 for both Jordans is very impressive, especially here in the iNRS series. That is almost 2 full races for Jordan Booth and 1 race for Jordan Wenzel. But the battle is on for third on back. I mean, 1 bad race from Corey Bunch or Alex Forget, you're talking about a complete point shift. So unless something catastrophic happens over the next 2 weeks, you're looking at a fierce competitive championship battle going into the next couple rounds. Well, right now, Rick, let's talk about the specific points. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. Like I said before, this is the first race of the round of 8 after a thrilling and drama-filled race at the Roval. Like I just mentioned, those remaining 8 go into the Battle of Las Vegas. Bunch, who has been the 3rd member of the Big 3 this year, sits 21 to the good. And it looks like you have a 3-time winner, Alex Forget, sitting plus 6. Vernon Broadbeck, a Nashville winner as well. He can be up there. And behind him, throughout the most consistent non-winner this year, has been Alex Murphy, who has finished regular season 5th in points. And you have Atlanta winner Michael Whitley, and the man desperately who wants to make it back to the track he won at earlier this year is the driver in P8, Simon Madgen. So those are a little bit on the drivers and where they are. Team standings really quick before Rick takes a look into the playoff outlook. You have Full Throttle Motorsports in P1, Roadrunner in P2, and 40XLI in P3.
So as we were just talking about the playoffs, obviously we're down. This is the Elite 8, that round of 8. There's just 4 races left remaining that cap off this. Really, this is our first time we broadcasted the iNRS Racing Series for the entire season. It has been an amazing season with just a fabulous group of drivers. It's been a pleasure broadcasting this league. So, looking ahead at back-to-back speedway tracks, we wanted to take a look at how each of the remaining playoff drivers fares at these style tracks. So obviously we've talked about Jordan Booth. Jordan boasts a solid 4.3 average finish on speedway tracks and has found victory lane at Kansas this year both times. Now Jordan Wenzel, while second in points, finds himself with an 11.4 average finish and the second worst of the playoff drivers. That's an interesting fact. So Bunch and Broadbeck sit at 8.7 and 8.9 average finishes respectively. Forget at 10.2, Murphy 10.6, and Whitley 10.3. Those all 3 are even when it comes to approximately their finishes at this. So Simon sits the worst of the playoff drivers at 17.4, making these next 2 races kind of make or break for him.
It definitely, for sure, make or break. And really quick, let's talk about some drivers who have excelled at this style of track every week. It seems like Jordan Booth is the man to talk about, and we're going to do it again. He's the man to beat week in and week out. That is no different this week at Vegas. A hot contender with him, though, is going to be Corey Bunch, who won this race last year. Don't rule out the spring winner, Jordan Wenzel, either. So both Jordans and Corey probably will be up there at the top of the scoreboard and top of the tower by the end of the race. Talking about some drivers as well, let's talk about some rivalries. So not really much to report coming out of the Roval with rivalries. It seems like the 94 and the 10 battle has calmed down just a bit. And as we progress through this final round, though, Rick, I think we may see a little bit more take and not so much give, knowing that the playoffs and a potential championship is on the line here for the iNRS series. So I think this race could produce battles, could produce some new rivalries that will go into next week.
Yeah, I mean, if you just look at it, I mean, Jordan Booth is kind of, he's kind of like he's got some self-realization here. He's in good shape. He can just basically pedal his way around these next few races, and he'll make the floor unless something dramatic happens. Just being, Jordan Booth being himself, he's going to be fine. Below that, it gets a little sketchy. Jordan Wenzel, he's in a good position, but as you said earlier, 3 on back. If you're sitting in, Micah Whitley or Simon Madgen's position, or even Alex Murphy, you need a good finish. And if it means putting the bumper to somebody, would I rule it out? Heck no. So if you need to, you're going to get it. You're going to try to get that position back. So I expect to see some aggressive racing to get it done. But the great thing about this league is, with a lot of leagues, as the season wears on, especially towards the waning parts of it, participation tends to drop off. This league, heck no. We've got over 27 drivers who have already registered for tonight's event. That's fabulous, especially at a good track like Las Vegas. But that's just indicative of the competitors, and this league is just great to see.
It is great to see. And really quick, one thing I want to note, looking at the point battle really quick, the fact that Jordan Booth is plus 58, just doing some rough math right now, Rick, let's say you have 27 entries into tonight's race, which you do. The max points that somebody could gain if they lead them, somebody who would give max points it would have to be somewhere probably close to 30, 31 points. So Jordan Booth is almost 2 full races ahead of these guys. He could clinch himself into the next round if he finishes up here in the top 5, top 3. I don't know the math on that, but just knowing how far ahead he is, there's that point total that you need to hit every single race, and I bet he knows what that is, because what he can do is once he knows he's locked in, obviously, he can win to lock himself into the next round. But once he knows he's locked in, all he has to do is set his sights on Phoenix. So I think he's going to be even more eager knowing that he can lock himself in to the next round if my math is correct. But I believe that is the situation that 41 car is in coming into the night.
Yeah, I think that we'll get more information from the statistician for the iNRS Racing Series. But yeah, I think absolutely. So why don't we talk about the keys to tonight's sprint? Well, you know what? Let's save that for the break after we get done with qualifying. Let's watch practices wrapping up, and we're about to go to qualifying.
All right, so qualifying here at Las Vegas is very, very fun. I ran a couple laps here a couple days ago, and it is a track where you have to carry momentum, and you can push it very, very hard here. So what I probably am going to see here is drivers in the middle of 3 and 4 on their first out lap, trying to get some momentum going down in the turn 1 and turn 2 to carry that momentum. If they don't have a good turn 1, turn 2, they might set up turn 3 and turn 4 for another high run out to the outside to carry momentum back to the start finish line to try it again. You really can carry and gain about 1/10 to 2/10 by doing that alone, just because of the speed that you carry. So we're going to take a look at Jordan Wenzel, see what he does here on his out lap, see if he does go to the high side. And well, look at that, Rick. Goes to the high side, riding that wall all the way around here, get a little loose off the corner. He's going to dive it all the way down to that middle line, carrying as much speed as he can.
Yeah,
let's see how he approaches lap 1.
Your lap number 2 is always going to be your fastest, but you've really got to get that momentum going and that heat in those tires in lap 1.
For sure. Yeah, he's definitely going to use lap 2 as his hot lap as we start to see some of these times. Going to approach the board here on the left-hand side. He's going to dive all the way down to the bottom side of the track. Here he goes. This is the hot lap for that 81 car.
Still up there posted in 4th, but lots of driver times are coming in now.
And I think knowing how I just saw him go through 1 and 2, if he can make this car stick and he doesn't get loose out of 3 and 4, he might go to the top of the board.
It's looking like a smoking lap.
P2, a 30.124, and Martin Giraud just topped him with a 30.014, and you have Jordan Booth, the first sub-30-second lap time.
But even with these second lap times coming in, look at how close these times are.
It's going to be a fierce battle all race long, just because of how tight these drivers are with these fixed sets. So it's exciting. I mean, you got 20 drivers within half a second of each other.
A few drivers are still on track. Look, Matthew Robinson, smoking time.
Wow.
29.971, and puts himself up on top of Booth. Just a handful of drivers still out there. I think Jordan was practicing pit entry. I think that's Alex Forget. Vernon Broadbeck by 1/1000. There's just a car. I think Ron Fitting is the last driver on the track. Of course, these are the unofficial times right now. We'll get those final times to you once the 5-minute drivers meeting is complete. We'll bring you up the formal grid. I don't think anybody's going to touch that time by Vernon Broadbeck.
No, that's an impressive time. I think you're looking at your pole sitter right there. I mean, he beat out Robinson by 1/1000th of a second. But still, I mean, you have 4 drivers sub 29 seconds, or sub 30 seconds, excuse me. Very impressive. See Ron Fitting coming to the line.
All right, that pretty much wraps up qualifying. Just a few ticks on the clock before qualifying is over, and we'll move to a warm-up period. And at that time, we'll kind of cover the keys to the race and anything else that happens to be in our minds as we talk about the remaining races in this season.
For sure.
All right, so qualifying is over. And there's that 5-minute drivers meeting. So I guess at this point, let's just kind of talk about, John, your thoughts for how to be successful here.
Yeah, so looking at Las Vegas and knowing how you have to run this 1.5 miles, very much of it is focused on momentum. We kind of mentioned that before. And looking at what I would consider my 3 keys for tonight, it's going to come down to a few things. So the first thing it's going to come down to is green flag stops. We've seen this series have a ton of green flag stops. You've seen a lot of track time gained and a lot of track time lost here simply because the green flag stop did not go as planned. So getting on pit road, getting out of pit road is definitely 100% key for tonight. And that's going into my second point, track position. I think you do need to be probably, unless you can find some time or you're able to short pit, I think you're going to have to be up there in the front 5 to 7 drivers to have a chance to win. That oftentimes at this track, it can get pretty spread out. There is a little bit of a draft, but it's not as strong of a draft as Atlanta. It's not a super speedway, but the draft will still be important. Oftentimes you see an accordion effect, but I do believe track position is going to be key. And number 3, tire wear. You don't want to burn up your tires on the front end. So when you have these cars all bunched up, you're going to have tire wear, especially if you're behind a car. The aero wash coming out of a corner is going to be pretty intense, especially coming out of 2 and coming out of 4. So monitoring your tire wear so you're not losing time on the back end of a stint and you're not already digging yourself a huge hole there is going to be key. So green flag stops, track position, tire wear, those are my keys for tonight's race at Las Vegas in the South Point 200. And Rick, last night we were at New Hampshire, and you said you didn't like New Hampshire very much as a driver. But what do you think about Las Vegas? Are you a fan of Las Vegas?
I love all the mile-and-a-half tracks. I love old Atlanta because it was a driver's track. So,
Sure.
And people say, well, all the mile-and-a-halves are like, no, actually, I disagree. Each one, they may be sisters, but they're all different. Each one has their little bit of personality that makes it a challenge as a driver. You know about this one's got a bump here that could upset the car. This one's got that unique front stretch. This one has a slightly odd shape to the track. So yeah, I love all the mile-and-a-halves. I'm very I don't discriminate. I love the mile-and-a-half tracks.
Well, it's a very fun track. I love driving on it. I'm right there with you. It's one where you can drive the high line too, which I love to do. The high line is definitely something that a lot of people don't like, but I think it's something that's an art, and you can really gain a lot of time if you can, be a skilled driver at that high line as well. So I'm curious to see who's going to be up there. We know one driver, the 19, Alex Forget-Berube, starting in P4. He's always up there. I mean, he will find his way to the high side, and he's not afraid to do that literally on lap 1 in turn 1. So we'll see how quickly he moves up there.
We saw Wenzel doing that in his qualifying laps. He certainly put up some good times. It's finesse to run that high line, to preserve your tires, to be able to save your stuff in these potential long green flag runs. I used to love the entire West Coast swing with Las Vegas, Auto Club. I found all those tracks to be very interesting and a fun track. So I'm looking forward to tonight's race. As I'm looking forward to the final 3 races, this is 4 with 3 to go. You've got Homestead. That's a fun track to watch, and that's a unique track in its layout. Martinsville. Actually, the Martinsville race with this group was actually pretty good in the spring, so it should be a good race again as we head towards. That's our Halloween race, so there'll be a Halloween theme for that. That's the Ace HTI 250, and then obviously November 7th, we wind up in Phoenix.
Yes, we do.
Well, it looks like this warm-up period is about to come to a close, and you can stop hearing so much of us just blabbering on and talking about stuff. But we'll move on to getting the grid and getting this race underway.
Well, I hear some people in the comments love our commentary, so we could talk all night, Rick.
If you tuned in last night, you heard us talk all night.
We did. That was. I recommend having that race on 2 times speed, and even that might not be good enough.
And make sure you pack your favorite adult beverage because it was one of those.
It was. Well, what we know is that the 5-minute warm-up is over, and we are getting ready to grid up for tonight's South Point 200 here in the iNASCAR Racing Series. Let's bring up your official starting order for tonight's race. In the number 10 car on pole is Vernon Broadbeck, a great showing for him as a playoff driver. Starting in second is Matthew Robinson. In third, Jordan Booth, your point leader, with Alex Forget-Berube, another driver in the playoffs, starting in fourth. Martin Giroux starting in P5 with Eric Jeffers starting in sixth. Simon Madgen there starting in seventh. Corey Bunch starting in eighth. Garrett Walden starting in P9. And Mike Wheel rounds out your top 10.
Jordan Wetzel finds himself in 11th. Austin Walton in 12th. Nick Alves in 13th. Eddie Musso Jr. in 14th. Matt Persini in 15th, Joe Musso in 16th, Alex Murphy in 17th, Vince Perns in 18th, Tony Japs in 19th, and Corianis is in 20th.
In 21st, you have Richard Mills in 22nd, Scott Thomas. Then starting in the 23rd position, Clark Franz with Jacob Musso starting in 24th. In the 25th spot, you have Michael Whitley Jr. Not really what he was looking there. And what he needs is the last playoff driver, with Dan Hughes starting in 26 and Ron Fitting starting in P27.
Noticeably absent tonight is Ty Bostic, but for a very good reason. Ty and his wife just brought home a new baby to their family.
Yep, congratulations again, Ty. And that's the last time I'm going to call your name, because last night, the second I did that, you ended up wrecking. So, Ty, good race. I will talk to you hopefully at the end of the race. Literally talked about him, and next thing I know, I saw him spinning into the grass. So I was like, oh, there's the broadcaster's curse.
Yep. So he's he's not here tonight, but I'm sure we'll see him next week. So.
He is not here tonight. That is true. Well, I saved you there, Ty, or you saved yourself from me jinxing you. I apologize and wish you the best next week in Chicagoland, which is where we're going to be next Wednesday night. So if you enjoy some racing, come on next week for the Texas Troop Cup Series. You're going to be watching that, and then these guys will be racing on Thursday night. Well, Rick, we got some Las Vegas racing. We got some blinking going on a little bit in the back, but we're going to go green here in a second. Pace car dips down. Who is going to roll the dice and win here at Las Vegas? Green flag in the air, and it looks like we have some stack up already. The 49 or the 43 car off pace.
Yeah, already dropped down to the line, but really already a battle. Jordan Booth challenging Vernon Broadbeck for that number one position. And the first
side by side going.
Yeah, first lap's not even in the books yet.
We already see those drivers making their way to the high side. Who is going to lead lap one and get that championship point? I think it's going to be the 10 leading lap number one here of 2:34.
All right, Vernon Broadbeck leads the first lap. Jordan Booth is in second, but don't look back now. Matthew Robinson is right there, challenging for that second position.
Right behind them, there is the 19 car of Alex Forget.
Great
and
run.
Caution in the back. Oh, Austin Walton, Tony Japs spinning in the back. That's a 42 machine there as well involved. Yep.
Already lap 3, first incident of the night. Oh, Tony Japs, that car is upset. Not sure if he's got some damage or just was not fully on the racing surface when he hit the throttle. Let's go back and take a quick look and just see what happened to Tony. Oh, well, did something precipitate that? I mean, just...
I don't know.
Did he just not know that was a car there?
Yeah, let's see. Because that was a very odd move on the backstretch to make.
That's the 17 of Austin Walton, I think, up on the high side.
And while this is happening, Rick, we got the 41 coming down pit road, along with Mike Wheel, Matt Piercini, Austin Walton, Franz, Thomas, and Whitley. But let's take a look at the 42 right here and see what happened. I think he tried to follow.
Yeah.
I think he tried to follow the car in front of him.
I just think he didn't even know that the 17 was there.
No, had no idea.
Yep. Unfortunately for both drivers, this is a league where there is no quick repair. There's no fast repair. If you wreck it, that could be the end of your night. And those cars definitely have some damage.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody else was involved. I mean, the toe link doesn't look bent.
Just looks like some body damage to the 42.
Yeah. He might be okay.
Yep.
Unfortunate. But that brings out our first caution of the night. Those two drivers right there on your screen. The 42 coming up into the 17 of Austin Walton. Well, while we were away, we saw some drivers top off on fuel. You had one driver, I think, take tires. Mike Wheel, he has a 10.93 second stop. Everybody else was in the 4 to 5 second range. So, little fuel strategy game here a little bit early on.
Yeah, I think that these drivers are expecting these long green flag runs. They didn't probably use a lot of fuel, but might as well top it off. We've seen that play out. We've got 134 laps here. We'll do the math and try to figure out. You see more drivers coming right back down onto pit road again. They're just playing this game.
Yeah, they just want to top off on fuel. I understand. I get it.
Yeah. So if you're looking at the crawl across the top and you see drivers' names outlined in red, those are our 8 playoff drivers. Their names will also appear in red on the tower. And you'll be able to see your favorite driver, or be able to see specifically where those playoff drivers are currently in the standings. All right, looks like the lights are out on our pace car, which means next time by, we'll get this event back underway.
We will. And what's going to be an important factor to pay attention to is the 41 all the way back in 20th. You have Michael Whitley Jr., another playoff driver, all the way back in 21st. These drivers are deep in the field. And it looks like the 41's kind of holding back a little bit. We'll see what race control think. Oh, but he's got back up there. Okay, it's all good. And we got the flag man with the green flag and saying green flag back in the air here at Las Vegas. Michael Whitley Jr. all the way in the back, and you have Vernon Broadbeck all the way in the front as we go into turn 1.
I think that was the one that was kind of holding back that low line. I think Jordan Booth, by the nature of taking those 2 pit stops, he is actually sitting back in 19th.
Yeah, he's all the way back. And, I mean, just kind of off. Kind of looks off the pace. Or he might just be saving his stuff, you know? He's definitely not pushing it very, very hard here early on in the race. But, hey, if you're 58 points to the good, you don't have to. You don't have to do that.
No, and it's a good opportunity if you're just trying to experiment, to figure things out. It's okay to do that. We do have Matthew Robinson has moved himself up in front, getting around the 10 of Vernon Broadbeck, and will lead that lap.
And Rick, I don't believe we did this. It's one of the first times we haven't done this. Did we go through track temp and set of tires and
Whoops.
the stage? I was calculating. I was like, wait a second. I don't know when the stage is. There we go. Really quick. 134 laps, stage break on 44. No quick repairs. 5 sets of tires. 60% fuel and 3 green-white checkers on an 86-degree track temp. And we're out. Very quick there. Don't want to take away from any of the action. So
track temp is pretty mild here for Vegas. That's kind of just not 10 degrees above ambient air, so not bad here on this track.
Oh, you'll have a lot of grip. Oh, you see a car getting to the outside wall. I believe that was the 46 of Simon Madgen there. But yeah, with the track temp right at 80 to 90 degrees, you're going to have some grip here. Now, obviously, with the sun, it may get a little hot, but we shall see. Currently, the track state is at 2:50 in the afternoon, so right now, it actually might be the hottest point of the day.
Yep, pretty close. All right, got some good racing, and just bring up the track map itself. So We're still pretty bunched up here. That will change if we wind up doing some green flag pit stop, which I truly expect to see here. But great battle up here at the front. You got Matthew Robinson up front. You got Vernon Broadback and Alex Forget-Berube battling side by side. And Simon Madgen just sitting back there with Martin Giroux, figuring what's next. Who's going to take the next spot?
Yeah, great side-by-side racing right now between the 19 and the 10. Here comes the 46, and here's this accordion effect, Rick. We've seen this a lot at mile and a half. The field spreads out, then it gets all punched. Oh, the 10 slides up into the 46, still pushing to the outside. As the 19's trying to get around the 1 car going into turn 3. I think he has position on the inside. These cars seem a little loose. That 19 is fishtailing right now. He's back into that car, wants to dance, but we do have a new leader. It is the 19, Alex Forget-Berube.
Yep, we've got a great battle. Both Alex Forget-Berube and Matt Robinson drive for Performance Motorsports. You've got Simon Madgen with Rumble. He's up there with Martin Giroux, also with Rumble. And then Vernon Broadback with Roadrunner. Just a great battle. And then don't look back, Corey Bunch and Eric Jeffers are there with full throttle behind them. So some good team racing happening right inside the top 10.
And right now, currently looking at 14 laps into this race, who's the biggest mover? Jacob Mousseau with the fastest lap, and he's been the biggest mover, plus 13 spots all the way up to P11. So watch out for that 25 car. Might get a surprise winner. If that's the case, Rick, there's one more driver who's going to make it in on points.
Absolutely.
Well, Jordan Booth more than likely will clinch because of points before we get to the last race, unless tragedy happens. Or something catastrophic, but we'll know. We don't know.
We are spread out 3 wide,
which does work here.
So one of the challenges that these drivers are facing, their relatively aggressive lines that they're taking is going to play into a couple of factors. Definitely tire wear is going to be a factor here as they take that low line repeatedly. They're going to scrub off more on their tire wear and slip and slide a bit. Then of course, the way they're battling, fuel economy is going to also play into that effect. So we're trying to get a feel for those drivers who have not pitted, when we should expect to see them on pit road.
So right now, 60% fuel at a mile and a half. Somewhere between 34 to 37. We did have one caution, so I think they will have to pit for sure before the stage.
Except for those drivers who pitted, they will not have to pit.
And I like the move because what that does is we had about 3 laps under caution. You had, 3 low, 46 sideways. He's losing it. He is sideways.
He saved it.
He saved it. Yep. But that's going to stack up the field, Rick. You got to pay attention to this. This is going to be hairy going into turn 1. These cars are dancing all over the place. So what that's going to do is if they can go 34 to 37. Oh, 13 got hit from behind. He's getting sideways, saved it.
Good save by Nick Alves in the 13.
Well, okay, I want to try it for the 3rd time to finish my sentence. So I think the drivers that came down pit road on lap 4 might try to make it to the end of the stage and get stage points. I mean, look at the drivers who did. Jordan Booth, Michael Whitley. I mean, Jordan Booth knows he needs points. And so I think, he doesn't, but he needs points to advance, and he's very close. So I think those drivers in the back kind of knew what they were doing. So I'm very curious to see when these guys actually come down pit. Oh, we're wrecking in the front, 19 sideways. Man.
They saved it. We're still under green.
Maybe they just don't want me talking about, maybe they know the strategy. Maybe they're like, hey, don't give away our strategy. But because every time I've talked about it, some drivers got sideways. So the great saves you've seen out of these iNRS drivers.
But big drop for Alex Forget. That's put him only back in 15. Back up front, Vernon Broadbeck has got a good jump over Jordan Wetzel and Corey Bunch. But, you know, don't look at his rear view mirror. They're 3 wide behind him. The 46 of Simon Matchett. See the 12 of Jeffers right there in front. Easing back on the throttle, coming out of 4, just gently managing that throttle. Counter steers and finds that apex out of 2. Goes a little deeper into 3. Really gets a little loose.
Yeah, it definitely seems to be very loose here, even with the temps not being too high.
Well, with 25 laps in the books, even though we did have a caution, that's probably really about tire wear.
For sure.
Oh yeah, he's having to overcorrect every time. So that's the unique position here that these guys are in. They're gonna have to. Whereas those guys who came in early and just took fuel only, they've figured out a way to make it the entire stage with not taking tires and just topping off fuel. Will their tires be warm? Yes. But these guys who did not come in, when they're going to be forced to come down, that's going to be a full 15-second pit stop.
Correct.
Some smarter men than me figuring out that strategy.
It's definitely a bold one to make. As one hits the wall, it gets a big bump from the 81. It's a bold call, but I like it because what that does, they're essentially flipping the stage on the front end. You know, oftentimes you see drivers flip the stage on the back end to try to gain track position. Well, what these drivers are trying to doing is they're trying to flip it on the front end and be out there and get some stage points. Now, what's going to happen is they will have to come down pit road under caution. They will have to cycle all the way to the back.
The challenge is that just here's a number. So Jordan Booth is sitting back in 22nd position. He's already come in. And based on what we see, it's about a full 36, 37 seconds by the time you get off the track, get down pit road, get to your booth, get in the booth, and then get back on the track.
Right.
That's a long time.
It's a long time. I'm very curious to see how that'll work out. Very curious. One thing I'm also curious about is how these tires are going to stay on these cars another 14 laps, because everybody is sliding all over the place. Corey Bunch sliding with Vernon Broadbeck there in second. Matt Robinson there in third, Eric Jeffers in fourth, and Alex Murphy in fifth. And let's talk about, again, our biggest movers of the race right now. Jacob Rousseau up 15 spots. One of the fastest cars on the track. Watch out for that 25. And progresses, getting better each week, progressing, and a great talent there out of GKM Racing. Oh, see the one get a little sideways. That's going to allow, or the 10 getting a little side. No, that was the one. Trying to get all these white cars out here. Getting sideways there, so the 10 goes into P2. Yeah, the one is breaking loose. One is very loose on the inside.
Yeah, I think that they're realizing they're at the end of their tire life. They really pushed hard. They were aggressively battling down on the low line, and all that does is chew away tire and build heat, and that's your biggest enemy.
It is. We're 32 coming to 33.
Yeah, you're thinking the exact same thing.
Yes, we were. Well, we've called how many races together? Two a week for over a year. It's over.
Couple.
It's got to be close. Yeah, it's got to be there. Got to be a lot. So we think the same. We were both like, 32 coming to 33 laps to go here. Thank you all for tuning in, and we do appreciate everybody for tuning in to tonight's race. If you've enjoyed it so far, make sure to like and subscribe and share it to any other NASCAR fan, sim racing fan that would be interested in catching some really, really solid racing either tonight or Wednesday nights, as both series will be officially in their playoffs here in 2 weeks. We have the iNRS right now that is in their playoff run. 3 more races to go until we crown a champion. As you can see, the field has started to kind of bunch back up. There's only about a 2-second gap between P1 of Corey Bunch and P11 Eddie Musso Jr.
Corey Bunch continues to show us the way. Broadbeck, Jeffers, Wenzel, Murphy. Imagine that's your top 6.
And I'm watching these lap times right now. They are about 1.2 seconds off their fastest lap. Some drivers are a little bit worse, but the average is about 1.2 seconds. And right now, first all the way back to 11th is roughly, except for Martin Giroux, within about a 1/10 of a second between them and the driver in front of them. So it's very close battles all the way through this top 5 and 10. Got a side-by-side battle now going on for the lead. You got Vernon Broadbeck sliding. He's on the grass. He's in. He's good. He's good. Was there contact?
Let's come back.
I don't know if that was just a 10 getting very loose out of the corner exit, sliding up in front of the 77. Nope.
Was there contact?
Just lost it. No, I think he just lost it a little bit.
Oh, yellow's out.
Oh, caution is out.
Richard Mills. That, with just 5 laps before the stage break, is going to completely upend, I think, the plan of some of these drivers.
Oh yeah, it's it's definitely going to change things because you might as well come down pit road. Now, they're going to be coming around to lap 40. Oh, he got turned. Did he make any contact? Oh, no, he did not.
Great save by the 5.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal. Kept it off the track, too. And
Yep.
your leaders are down pit road. Here comes the whole field.
So far.
Now let's see. Let's see Garrett Walden.
Stays
No,
out.
Garrett Walden stayed out. Scott Thomas, Jordan Booth, they all stayed out. There. Oh, that's going to be that's going to be hectic on a restart.
So top 5 stayed out. Sorry, the top 5 are drivers who stayed out and did not pit here on lap 39. We do have a competition caution that will come out at lap 44 at the end of lap 44. So they know they can come back down at that time. But they've got to hold off guys who, well, let me rephrase. So Matt Persini came in, he just took fuel his last time. He was part of the first group. Corey Bunch is the first driver down. Looks like he took fuel and maybe right sides. Vernon Broadbeck, I'm thinking fuel and right sides. Everybody else, with the exception of Vince Burns, took 4 tires. Well, Alex Forget also took right sides. But everybody else, besides those drivers, they took 4 tires.
Interesting.
The long and short of it is, we have got a mix. The guys up front, the 5 drivers up front, they're on old tires and barely enough fuel, but enough to get to the break. Because that'll only be like 2 laps once we go back to green flag racing.
Yeah, it's going to be quick. It's going to be quick.
The rest of the drivers who are behind them either have right sides or 4 fresh tires. So, could be.
Yeah, this is going to be a crazy last little bit of time, for sure.
So this does put Garrett Walden up at the front and Scott Thomas. Both of those are non-playoff drivers. Right behind them, you've got Jordan Booth and Michael Whitley, both playoff drivers. Both want those stage points.
And stage points are hard to come by here. So getting stage points early on, you know, getting them out of the way, even if it does sacrifice some stage 2 track position, I think it's worth it, especially if you need them.
So they'll be coming to the line at lap 42. Lights will go off on the pace car, so they'll take the green flag at lap 43. They'll race lap 43, they'll race lap 44, and then the caution will come out.
That makes sense. Well, if you wanted a crazy restart, this is going to be it. I mean, this is going to be quite chaotic for some of these drivers.
Field is formed back up as we run through the back stretch. A couple of stragglers making their way out, joining the field. Interestingly enough, we have 27 drivers here tonight on track, and every single one of them is still on the lead lap.
Wow.
Fact to live by.
There you go. Love some facts. All righty, here we go.
Garrett Walden is in charge.
Little, possibly a little foreshadowing if we get a late race restart. Green flag in here. The inside line, great start. The outside line, not a great start at all. Those three drivers up front are gone. Want to pay attention to the 10 of Vernon Broadbeck. He is the car with the freshest tires right now, trying to battle his way back through. I don't know if he's going to have enough time to get back up there.
When he went to the outside.
If those guys stay side by side, it'll be very hectic. Here we go, coming to lap 44. At the end of this lap, you're going to see the yellow flag wave. Here comes the 24 to the inside of the 43. But that 10 is there. Where will the 10 go? 10 going to make it 3 wide. Oh, we're wrecking in the back. Wrecking in the back. 94 sideways, hits the 12. 81's involved. Big wreck on the back stretch.
Caution
that, folks,
flies.
is how this stage is going to end. That 12 is demolished.
Stage points are Booth, Walden, Garcini, Broadbeck, Magin, Bunch, Robinson, Alves, Thomas, and Alex Forget. But that may have ended the night for a number of drivers. Let's go back and see who was involved. I think Michael Whitley was involved.
See what happened here. Looks like the 77, I mean, the door was kind of, actually, yeah, the door was open. The 77 was okay. The 94 came back up into the 46, bounced off the 77, came back up, hit the 81, and is going to come back down the track and hit the 12.
Of course, that's Wenzel, Jordan Wenzel in the 81 and Whitley in the 94, both playoff drivers. That's Jeffers.
30 there. Alex Murphy. Hard hit for the 81.
Alex Forget Berube. Vince Burns.
Man, that got 4 playoff drivers right there. That's not good. That's not great at all.
Oh, and Musso just T-boned him. I think the front end of that 25 car is completely gone.
Well, so much for that 25 making up that ground. That toe link is 100% broken.
All right, that's the analysis of that. Number of drivers on pit road. Whitley is out. Murphy is out. Still in the pits, Jordan Wenzel and Eric Jeffers. Dan Hughes finds himself out in front as the control car.
Yep, we will be going green this time by. Got Dan Hughes up there with Mike Wheel, Matthew Robinson, Simon Magin, Nick Alves, Martin Giroux, Alex Forget Berube, Jordan Booth, Eddie Musso, and Vernon Broadbeck.
So, we see these races, we call them each and every week, and predictively we see the same drivers, not the same, but same top 15 drivers up at the front on these restarts. It's always interesting when a driver that hasn't spent a lot of time up at the front is now put in a position where he's got to launch and get this field going. So be
Correct.
interesting to watch Dan Hughes and Mike Wheel how they handle this restart.
I think we're going to, we got the one to go sign, so we're good to go.
Now they will have Simon Madgen, Matt Robinson, and Nick Alves and Martin Giroux all just right behind them.
Oh yeah, they got a hungry pack of dogs right there.
Sitting like vultures, waiting to pick off something.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dan Hughes has 10 lap older tires than the rest of the field, 11 lap older tires, and Mike Wheel has 4 lap older tires.
Gosh, that is not a good recipe. We'll see how these guys manage it. They may surprise us.
They might. They might surprise us for sure. Well, here we go. Coming out of turn 4. Pace car is going to drop down. We have 86 laps to go here. Green flag in the air. The 96 does not go at all.
Nope, he missed.
Not a great restart.
Dan Hughes in the 6 out in front. Good start, man.
The 19 is trying to get around the 46. The 46 does not want to give up any position, though. 3 wide as the 41 comes to the high side. That is Jordan Booth battling there for P5. Got a big gaggle of cars back here. As the 6, Dan Hughes leading the race. A name we haven't called much, but great to see.
Back in the field, lots of jockeying for positions. Guys side by side here with fresh tires. And get away with it, as we saw earlier. As these guys get some age on these tires, 25 laps or so, it doesn't get quite so easy.
Not at all. I think you're about to see a pass for the lead right here. Dan Hughes and the 13 of Nick Alves side by side coming out of turn 2.
Three wide, Matt Robinson pokes his nose in there.
But he shot the gap because it was there.
That
He has
cycles
the pressure.
Dan Hughes back.
Yep, it does.
Good race here at Las Vegas in the South Point 200 with the iNRS Racing Series. We're thankful you are tuning in tonight to watch the first event in the round of 8 here at Las Vegas. As we mentioned earlier in the pre-race, that will leave here, pack up the trucks, and head to South Florida to Homestead for a similar race there at Homestead, Miami.
Now, what are your thoughts on Homestead? Are you a fan of Homestead?
It's not, at Homestead I don't have any animus towards it. I just haven't mastered it. I struggle. Like I'm comfortable with, getting through 3 and 4. I love that coming out of 4 to the front stretch, but I haven't really figured out how best to get around 1 and 2. And so my time's suffering.
Yep. It's always a battle. It's a very odd track. I mean, it's a big, just like, don't even have the describe it. It's because it's not an O. I mean, it's technically an oval, but it's a very interesting track. Turn 1 and 2 completely different from turn 3 and 4. They're not symmetrical at all, but it's fun.
Yeah,
What also is...
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I would say my challenge there is always that I just wind up just tearing up my tires to 1 and 2 and struggling to then recover 3 and 4.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Definitely is easy to do.
After 20 laps, I feel like I'm driving a duck.
Yeah, it's like that. You have to baby them around it. And I typically take the high side in 1 and 2 just to keep the car underneath me. But right now, we got a very heated battle up there at the top with Nick Alves, Mike Wheel, and Matthew Robinson. We got some beating and banging going on there as they are trading paint.
Good racing, and it's good to see Mike Wheel up front.
Yeah, very, very solid driver there.
Mike Wheel has come a long way this series. I know he spent a lot of time with Jordan Booth and the 40 XLI guys. I think he's been part of that, some of that race craft that's being shared there, and it's paying off.
I mean, no better team or driver to kind of get advice from. It's the 41, your point leader. So
yeah, right there you got the 13 down low, the 96 up high, and don't count out Matt Robinson, the 1. He's looking to wait for a mistake and take over this one.
And let's pay attention really quick to where your playoff drivers are. They are the red highlighted drivers on the left-hand side of your screen and across the top of your banner. Alex Forget Ruby, Simon Madgen, Jordan Booth, Vernon Broadbeck, Corey Bunch, Alex Murphy is your current top 6 in the running order, as we see some blinking going on.
Yeah, well, it's also unfortunate that Michael Whitley Jr. and Jordan Wenzel, they were both involved in that incident, and both of them have been in the pits trying to get repairs done. They've done a lot of, unfortunately, repairs to be made on those cars.
That's going to tighten the point battle even more. I mean, it's going to shrink the lead that Wenzel had. As we see, this racing, Rick, is insane up here in the front with Mike Wheel, Simon Madgen, all these drivers. You have about 10 drivers under a blanket right now. It looks almost like Atlanta. And this is what we see, the accordion. You see the field span out, then they come back together about 15 to 20 laps into a run.
Well, Matthew Robinson's found his way to take over the lead here at Las Vegas in the Southbound 200. We're just past the, almost at the halfway point. Close. All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. You won't miss anything. We'll be side by side, but we thank you for tuning in to the IWM Broadcast Network.
HDI provides commercial smart security systems, audio-visual solutions, TV mounting and installation, access control, and surveillance systems. In addition, our networking division can provide business networking and Wi-Fi solutions. All these systems can be remotely managed through our ACE HTI applications and cloud-based solutions. Running a business these days is a tough and demanding job. Let the folks at ACE HTI ensure that your place of business is safe for your workers and your company assets. ACE HTI can offer you integrated burglar alarm systems, access control and health, and wellness systems to ensure the safety of your employees and visitors. If you are looking to modernize or purchase a new fire alarm system, look no further than ACE HTI. We can offer you the latest state-of-the-art solutions to keep watch over your business. Does your surveillance system need a refresh? Ace HTI can install the latest 4K surveillance cameras with custom analytics and AI to help you understand what's happening in and around your business. Are you a restaurant or hospitality venue? Does your facility host sporting events? Reach out to Ace HTI for the latest in video displays and audio systems to enhance and define your place of business. Ace HTI service area includes both North and South Carolina. Reach out to us today at 336-941-3171 or via email at info@ace-hti.com.
All right, welcome back to the iWM Broadcast Network. And if you do see that like and subscribe button, please reach out, click that, and we'll keep you up to date as to what's happening here on the iWM Broadcast Network. As of now, we're here broadcasting on Wednesdays and Thursday nights. We'll be here for sure on Thursday nights till November 7th. Now I have to go back and check our other schedule, John. I think we go through December 18th.
Yeah, it's right up to Christmas because we have a couple races left before we go to the playoffs there in that series.
So we'll be on right up to the Christmas holiday, and then, like most, we'll be taking a well-deserved break through the Christmas and New Year's holiday, and then pick it back up when NASCAR picks back up. We'll be probably at Bowman Gray for the Clash.
Let's hope iRacing needs to bring it in.
Yeah, we haven't seen that track. I'm sure that that will be something that they bring in, I'm assuming, over the Christmas holiday. I guess
it's a must.
They've already scanned it because you'd love to grab that track during the summer months. Research while we're watching these guys. Here we are just past the halfway point here with Alex Berger-Movie now up front and leading here. This would be a great race for Alex to lead.
And him winning a race would lock him into the championship.
Yeah, well, but just even getting good points, he's sitting in that vulnerable fourth spot, only 6+ points to the good. Vernon Broadbeck is right there. Alex Murphy's right there. Unfortunately, Michael Whitley is in trouble. He is back on the track, but I don't think he's making pace much. Jordan Wenzel is still in the pits. That could be really bad news for Jordan. He was with plus 39, but a DNF or a low finish here could be really damaging.
Yeah, it could be severely detrimental to that championship battle. Well, it's lap 72 here of 134. We've got almost 30 laps on this set of tires. We expect the fuel window to be anywhere between 34 to 38, so should be seeing some pit stops here roughly in the next 10 laps, which means they're probably going to have to come down pit road again.
Yep, based on your calculation, we should see them pretty soon. I don't see anything that has jumped out to say, yes, we saw iRacing scanning Bowman Gray, but my guess is they have already done it.
Well, let me tell you, if Dale Jr. has anything to do with it, I can guarantee you that track will be on iRacing here in the next year.
Well, it just goes, you know, iRacing and the NASCAR series are hand in glove. So.
Yep, they are. It's the biggest market that they have, and I think it's the best product out there for oval racing, and I would even argue best product out there for road course as well. I mean, you have a Assetto Corsa, which is great, but iRacing's capabilities, connectivities, the community, it's pretty amazing. I remember being on iRacing 10 years ago, and which is crazy to say, because I remember seeing it. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I want to get on, and you would not believe the difference in 10 years ago and today. The strides that they've made with the technology, with the realism. Even back then, it was one of the best ones on the market. So it'll be here. It'll take some time, but Bowman Gray will be here. But let me tell you something about time. Alex Forget-Berube is running the fastest laps out of anybody on the track, and he's pulling away. He's almost his full second lead ahead of Matthew Robinson and Jordan Booth.
But everybody has got to come down. There are a few drivers right now on pit road. Scott Thomas, Austin Walton, some drivers with some extended time. The Musos are in the pits for some extended time, but they're all due. We pitted last on lap 45, 77. That says we're at 33 laps here, so they're coming.
They are.
Just trying to do my own map here, just to made the mistake of resetting all the icons on my phone. I'm lost trying to find things, but you know, we'll figure it out.
It'll take some time, but you should be good. Take some time to learn it again.
Well, I also updated to the new operating system 18. Really interesting. So 43 is bone dry empty. So 41 at best puts you at 86. Most drivers won't wait till the very end. So really, anytime the next 3 or 4 laps, we should see these drivers in. We have seen Corey Ennis come down, Scott Thomas, Austin Walton, Tony Japs. They've all made it in. Now Garrett Walton is coming down pit road. I know being a mile and a half, you don't have to come down with a partner, but it doesn't hurt. You know, although Alex Forget-Berube is out in front, I don't want to lose sight of the fact that you've got Matt Pericini, Jordan Booth, Matthew Robinson, Corey Bunch, Vernon Broadbeck, Nick Alves. These guys are all, that pack of 6 is right there just eyeballing what's happening up in front.
Yeah, they're there. They're just waiting to pounce. So we'll see what happens as Matt Pericini slowly gaining on the 19. Oh, car sideways. I think it was a 15. Or was that Vernon Broadbeck?
In the 10? He's now still showing in 8th. Going on board with Jordan Booth, currently showing in 3rd. saw earlier, lots of counter steering, and the car was super loose. Werner Broadback is in the pits, as is Mike Wheel. And you're seeing Jordan doing the exact same thing. He's coming out of 2, having a counter steer. Now he's in the 3 off the throttle. Yeah, barely hanging on. This car is super loose.
And we have a battle now for the lead. The 24 is there, and the 41 is there too. This 19 has fallen off in lap times pretty severely over the last 2-3 laps.
Matt Robinson, Magin, Murphy, Mills, Fitting, all on pit road. So that window is open. It's now lap 85. Expect to see your leaders on pit road very soon.
Very, very soon. Here comes, I think, the 19 and the 41 down pit road. A 41 jumps in front of the 19. Both on the brakes super hard.
Oh,
Will we see any penalties? Yep, speeding penalty. Alex Forget-Berube, speeding penalty. Jordan Booth, black flags.
That is terrible for those guys under green flag conditions.
Well, that just changes the whole complexion of this race.
At least for
Your
those
top
guys.
2 in points having issues. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Booth needed a good day. He didn't need that.
Yep, Wenzel's wrecked. Booth's going to wind up with a 40-second speeding penalty. He's going to get held in the pits. Alex Forget-Berube, he needed this. He's going to get held. And these guys are just going to be stuck.
This playoff battle is now flipped on its head. The Corey Bunch, Matt Perusini in.
Watch these times. They've been in their booth for 48 seconds, 50 seconds. Any time now, they're coming out. Still not being released. Here they go.
And that battle is going to be hard.
That's going to hurt big time.
Yeah, they are all the way back now. The 19th and 20th, 1 lap down.
So that puts Corey Ennis on the pole, in the lead, kind of by himself. Let's get that gap information.
Looks like he came down on lap 78 and kind of short pit a little bit.
So coming down lap 78, he's gonna have to come back in one more time. Whereas if he came down on lap 84, I don't know. My math doesn't work. That says they come back one more time anyways.
You have to come down one more time. Yep, I agree. It's going to be... there's no way they can save 40 laps at this point. The math isn't mathing, and we will see.
Yeah, you're going to be 10 laps short.
Yep.
So they're hoping for a late stage caution, which could maybe help them out a little bit. But good showing for the 67. Of course, he's got the one of Matt Robinson right there, not too far behind. Vernon Broadbeck. That good show by Matt Perusini, Nick Alves, Garrett Walden. Corey Bunch, good shape in 7th. Simon Magin is cracking the top 10. Alex Murphy right there. So Booth and Forget-Berube are a lap down. Jordan Booth is the first car lap down. He would get his lap back if the caution does fly.
Yeah, that battle, it's going to be between the 19 and the 41, and that's a big position, especially if another caution comes out here in the next 43 laps. It's huge. It is huge.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens.
He's got to get, if he's going to make it back in, he's got to get a little bit of luck to play, because he's going to need that caution to come out at the right time to fuel up. But he's still going to wind up at the end of the line.
He is.
Looking on back a bit, looking for some battles. Definitely this is a big battle between the 13 and the 10 of Nick Alves and Vernon Broadbeck. They've been door to door for a lap or two here. That's for position. That's for the 4th place.
Wow.
Neither driver seems to be wanting to give an inch.
Not at all.
Looking on back in the field, maybe there's something back here with Simon Madgen. Let's go back. Nope, they're pretty much, I think we're single file as we just kind of take a peek back through the field. Yep, looks like the rest of the field is single file. And this may have settled down a little bit.
They have.
That's Corey Bunch trying to get around on the low side.
Ooh, that was close.
Still close as Corey tries to get by. This is kind of a little bit of a hornet's nest back here amongst these drivers.
A hornet's nest? Absolutely.
Matt Robinson continues to lead.
Yep, by 9/10 of a second, a little over a second right now. Robinson looking good. And let's talk about our biggest mover of the race right now. It's actually Corey Ennis plus 14 in P6.
Yeah, don't discount the Matt Pericini, the 24. He is plus 13 right there outside the, just outside the top. And Nick Alves, he is driving his heart out here.
Yes, he is. Sitting up there in P3, plus 10 positions on the day.
He's riding on board with the 13 of Nick Alves. You see the 24 of Matt Pericini right in front as these drivers are trying to chase down the 1 of Matt Robinson. You do see the 94 of Michael Whitley. He is not, he was involved in an earlier incident. He is not making the same speed as these drivers, but he's turning laps. Currently showing the 23rd. Nick is, 13 is really catching the 1 here.
Yeah, the gap is there, and we've seen this with the leaders. I mean, it is a battle as we approach just 33 laps to go here.
The 1 is falling off.
Yeah, that 24 just got loose on the inside. Got a big battle forming between these 4 drivers. Only one of which are playoff drivers.
Yep, that's the Corey Bunch right there. but good showing from these non-playoff drivers. They're kicking butts. Matt, the number one is still loose. He almost lost it.
Yeah, he's very, very, very loose.
So the smoke coming out of the 24. These guys have been battling for the last few laps. I think they've really just kind of used up their stuff. Should be pretty early. They're only 20 laps into this run.
Correct.
See the 15 going by on the high side. That's Clark Franz. Oh, contact, 24.
Oh, hold on to it.
He does. This track,
Wow.
this track is forgiving. This track is
Very.
forgiving, especially through the infield. It's not like you're taking your chances in Charlotte. You bobble through Humpy Wheeler's infield. There's a good chance you're going to hit a clump or clod of dirt that's going to launch that car in the air. But Matt Pirosini saved that, puts him back in 5th, and that puts Nick Alves out in front. '15 is Clark Francis sitting in front. Clark is a few laps down. Jordan Booth still remains the first car a lap down. If we do get a caution, he'll get promoted.
Rick, looking at where we are in this cycle, we are about 20 laps away from pit stops. So they're going to have to pit with about 11 laps to go, 10 laps to go. And as it stands, Nick Alves, Corey Bunch, Matthew Robinson, Vernon Broadbeck, Matt Perusini is your current top 5, with 4 out of the top 7 playoff drivers. Tony Japs, I believe, is on pit road.
So now comes the question. Do you say, okay, look, I know we're all going to have to stop. Do I just stop now and do my darndest to get back up to the front later? Do I take right side tires? Do I make it a limited, just a splash of fuel and get, there's all these thoughts that have to come into play.
I would come down pit road early. I would short pit. I would force the hand, because the advantage that you're going to have, and I think you come down pit road roughly in about 6 laps. Here's why. Your tires will start to give away about lap 10 to 15. And that doesn't give your tires much time to fall off. If you wait another 10 laps and pit around lap 124, the delta between you coming down pit road early and 5 laps of bad, times versus 10 additional laps of bad time is something worth noting. I mean, right now these leaders are running 31 flats, 31 twos, 31 ones at full second. I mean, I think you take the risk and, hey, take 2 right side tires. Why not? I think if you're a driver like Vernon Broadbeck, who's currently 3.5 seconds back, or 2 seconds back, Simon Madgen, 3.5 seconds back, Alex Murphy, 4.5. I think you take a risk and try to leapfrog these leaders and make them come down pit road.
And right now we don't particularly know whether 2 tires is much better than 4 tires.
No. I see some chatter coming about over the radio. We see the one coming down pit road. Okay, he is the first one out of these leaders to come down pit road. So is Alex Murphy. Corey Ennis. Are they listening to us?
They may. They may.
Hey.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me if they've got a radio in their car listening to the broadcast. But
it's a bold thing to do, but with 24 to go, you got to take the chance.
I think this is the right call. Matt Persini, Simon Magin, also on pit road. This is the right time to come down. If you've been driving this track, you know that 20 laps is the best you're going to get out of these tires without them going away. Okay, come down now, get those fresh tires, go out. Now, the question is, what are you going to do? Is it a full 15? Is it a full stop and 4 tires, or right sides only? Well, only time will tell. Nick Alves now on pit road.
Yeah, and the thing is like Corey Bunch has stayed out twice.
Right
so
now,
that
everybody is 4 tires, just so you know.
Yep. So Corey Bunch has stayed out twice. That is 2.2 seconds or 2.4 seconds off of his fastest lap collectively that he's been out there. So that gap is gonna be closed by 2.4 seconds because he has not pit yet. And I don't think he's going to be coming back around to go down pit road. I think he's going to keep on going. He just ran a 31 flat, a full second off. So that's 3.4 seconds. So right now, 3.4 seconds is lost between technically him and it would be Nick Alves, I believe. Or Matthew Robinson, excuse me.
So
Matthew Robinson.
Everybody is a lap down, except for a Bunch, Walden, Fitting, Wheel.
And, I mean, they're playing the long game. I get it. I totally get it. But I love the early call. I love the early call. Richard Mills on pit road. Ron Fitting on pit road. Mike Wheel on pit road. Bunch and Walden have to come down. I mean, at this point, you're the only 2 cars left out there.
Well, and we do have some lap down cars who have not pitted yet. That's, Booth and Forgier Berube, who both suffered under the hands of that speeding penalty. They still have to come back down too.
Yeah, so to do the math, it was 3.4. Now it's 4.6. Now it's 5.5 seconds. The delta between Corey Bunch and Matthew Robinson. Matthew Robinson's last time was a 30.2, so it might be closer to 5 seconds. But either way, okay, here comes the 77 down pit road right now. Let's see how far back he is going to drop. I think he should have come down pit road earlier. I think it's going to be hectic, as now Jordan Booth will presume the lead. I think he had to come down pit road earlier than this.
Yep, I think that would have been the smarter call.
But hey, they may know something that we don't know. Corey Bunch is out. The 13 is coming out of turn 4 right now. 13 just hit the line. That's the car. 13 is off. There's a 13 going by right there. My suspicion is the gap is going to be 5 seconds. That's what I estimated.
Now that still puts those 2 cars out in front, Booth and Forgier Berube. Those guys have yet to come down. They're technically on the lead lap and leading, but they have yet to pit.
So, Rick, really quick, the gap right now is roughly about 3.2 seconds. So while Corey Bunch was out in front ahead of the 13, ahead of the 24, ahead of the 1, now he's behind them.
Yep.
I see the 19 getting passed. He still has to come down pit road, and so does Jordan Booth. 19 sideways, he's wrecking.
Saved it.
Oh boy, that could be bad. And this is what I love. I love these strategy races where, I'm typically a guy where if I know I can go to the end, we got 3 wide going into turn 3, 24 drives down to the inside of the 13, 24 is currently right now battling possibly for that win with the 13. Now, the more that they battle, the closer Corey Bunch is going to get.
don't lose sight of the fact that the 85, the 41, pitted last on lap 85. He can go. He's got to be out of gas.
Yeah, I'm kind of confused about the strategy call with 41 because now he's going to be. Well, I guess he was a lap down because of that penalty.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
He was hoping for a caution.
Yeah.
He needed a caution. So 40 laps gets him to 130. Well, can he make it? The race is 134. 40 laps.
40 laps is 124. He'd have to save 10 laps of gas.
Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, 24's loose. 24's loose. Got a fierce battle up at the front, Rick. I think 41's coming down pit road this time by. Oh, the 13 tried to close the gap. And here comes the 24 of Matt Perusini to the lead, followed by the 1 of Matthew Robinson with 12 laps to go.
Those guys are all on fresh tires, fresh fuel. They took 4 tires this last time by.
And Corey Bunch is 1.3 seconds back. So that is the car that has 5 laps to Matt Perusini, 6 laps to Matthew Robinson, and 4 laps to Nick Alves.
Let's not lose sight of the fact that the 3 guys in front, potential podium, Perusini, Alves, Robinson, none are playoff drivers.
None are playoff drivers. And you got a battle night now with Simon Madgen going side by side with the 77. Not going to make it easy. Another playoff driver, or actually your first playoff driver. They're battling for position for the highest playoff seeded driver to finish.
Alex J. Ruby on pit road. Vince Burns on pit road.
All right, coming to 10 to go right here.
This battle's not going away. Matt Perusini, Nick Alves, bumper to bumper, doing well together. We've got a little bit of a distance with Matt Robinson, who's kind of falling back a bit. Matt's got Corey Bunch behind, Simon Madgen, and Alex Murphy in this group here. But these 2 up front, Perusini and Alves, kind of checked out a little bit. Both guys would like a win.
Well, both would be ecstatic for a win. All right, Rick. 9 laps to go, and the battle is between the 24 and the 13.
The 13 is doing everything he can to try and work his way around. Where's the better line? Am I high? Am I low? Trying to avoid contact. He almost had contact there, super tight. Now they're door to door.
Well, Rick, they need to be careful because Corey Bunch is gaining, and gaining fast. Right behind him with just 8 laps to go now, 7 laps to go. The more that they end up side by side, the slower they're going to go. And Rick, Corey Bunch might end up winning this race if they keep on doing this.
He is no slouch, for sure.
An amazing side-by-side battle. Neither driver giving up any room now as we go into 3. Still side by side. The 24 gets a little tight, washes up the track, makes contact with the 13.
Corey Bunch is just loving this.
As a driver, I want to just get behind one of the 13 or the 24 if I'm one of them and just push because that 77's coming. They may lose both spots. 77's here. And they got to guard the middle. He is here. Now we got lap cars in front of the 13 and the 24. Oh, don't make contact. 77's going to go low to the inside. The 77 possibly going to take the lead. 13 tries to block. Nowhere to go. through goes Corey Bunch.
Corey Bunch needs this. He's sitting in third in points. Good finish here, especially what's going on with Alex for Jay Berube, Jordan's. That would vault him to the top of the board and obviously punch his ticket.
I mean, he has the fastest car. He has the best tires, and with 4 laps to go, I don't think these 2 drivers behind him are going to have enough to take care of it. They've been battling side by side. They have older tires. I think that 77 might be dancing away with the win here.
Absolutely agree. We've seen Corey Bunch, once he gets out in front, he's gone.
Great strategy call, staying out. And all it takes is a couple positions, Rick, to make or break your season.
Can this be a back-to-back win for Corey Bunch?
I think it could be.
He
knows how to win here. Yeah, I mean, he knows how to win. We're now coming 2 laps to go. Corey Bunch being chased fiercely by the 13 of Nick Alves and Matt Parasini in the 24 car. 2 laps to go in the South Point 200. Also, some people do forget, we do interview the podium drivers. So could it be Corey Bunch? Could it be Nick Alves? Could it be Matt Parasini? Right now, it looks like that could be your finishing order. So make sure to stay tuned after the final results are given, and we will interview all 3 of those drivers. All right, coming out of turn 4. White flag is in the air for the 77 of Corey Bunch with a strategy call that will win him the race potentially and lock himself into the championship 4.
Solid driving by the 77.
Makes his way through turn 3 and turn 4, hoping everybody keeps their fender on it. Rick, we got our first playoff contender locked and ready to go. Corey Bunch wins at Las Vegas, locks himself into the iNRS Championship 4 with Nick Alves and Matt Parasini finishing in the top 3. Those are your podium finishers.
Congratulations to those 3. We'll get those interviews to you as soon as these drivers get a chance to catch their breath. But heck of a finish here with Corey Bunch coming up on top. We've got our eye on him this race, but he certainly made some great calls in the latter half of this race.
There they are. Your top 3. And let's see if we can bring up your final results here for the South Point 200 in the iNRS, brought to you by the iNRS. Here we go. Corey Bunch wins and locks himself into the Championship 4 in Phoenix with Nick Alves in second, Matt Parasini finishing in third, Simon Madgen finishing in P4, Alex Murphy finishing in P5 with Matthew Robinson in P6, Vernon Broadbeck finishes 7th, Garrett Walden finishes 8th, Martin Giroux finishes in 9th, and Joe Musso with a strong top 10.
Ron Fitting, great race for Ron, finishes in 11th. Scott Thomas, also a good finish, top 15 for him in 12th. Mike Wheel in 13th, Clark Franz in 14th, Richard Mills in 15th, Austin Walton in 16th, Jordan Booth, I know he's disappointed with that speeding penalty. That certainly hurt him, finishing in 17th. In 18th, you got Tony Japs, and 19th, same situation. Alex Berube finishes in 19th with Coriolis in 20th.
In 21st, you have Vince Byrne, 22nd, Jacob Musso, 23rd, Michael Whitley Jr., 24th, Eddie Musso Jr., 25th, Jordan Winsel, with Dan Hughes in 26th, and Eric Jeffers finishing in 27th.
All right, there's your finishing order. We're looking to the booth to see if we've gotten any of our drivers in. We're looking for Matt Parasini right now. We'll see if we can find Matt. should be available to us. I think he is. All right, Matt, congratulations on your P3 finish.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, you certainly had it in you. We were seeing you running up front and thought there was an opportunity there for you. And you guys were definitely battling between you and Nick for a lot of laps.
Yeah, yeah, we were. It was good racing. Still, I'm a little disappointed. I think we had a winning car tonight, and we just didn't get the job done.
Well, it certainly came down to I think as we were speculating in the booth as to when was the best time to take that last pit stop, whether it was 2 tires or 4 tires, or it was a gamble.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you had to do what you had to do. I mean, the problem I had is that I was better on longer runs. Like that first really long run, with about 10 laps left in that run, my car really come in. And unfortunately, just that last stint, we had to split it into a little bit shorter. And the middle part of my run, it wasn't as good. I mean, Nick and I were racing hard, and unfortunately, because we were racing so hard, it just brought Corey right to us.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw that in the booth where you guys were door to door, and that just opened the proverbial door for Corey to hunt you down.
Yeah, it did. Congrats to Corey. I'm glad, happy for him. He's made it into the playoffs, into the championship round, and now he can go get that championship. I know he really wants it. So.
Well, any shout outs tonight, Matt?
Yeah, been running. You guys have probably noticed I've been running my breast cancer car all month. A close friend of mine about 3 weeks ago passed away from cancer, and so I've been running it in honor of her. My painter, Jeff Slaughter at Slaughter Racing Designs, painted the car. I think it looks amazing, and we haven't finished worse than I think 8th with this paint scheme on this car. So really special. Really happy to get another top 5. We're just building momentum for next season, and the 24 definitely will be back next season. And I have signed with a new team, so that'll be announced at Phoenix.
Oh, there you go. Part of that silly season that we expect to see. So we also hope to be back, and we're looking forward to seeing you next season.
Yeah, thanks for doing the broadcast, guys. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, there's your 3rd place finisher, Matt Pirosini, and we'll see if we can bring in Mr. Nick Alves here to the broadcast booth. All right, there he is. Congratulations, Nick. Heck of a finish.
Yeah, thanks. I didn't think I was gonna get P2 here tonight, but I'm glad I did.
Yeah, we were watching here in the booth as you and Matt were battling it out. Of course, that did open the door a bit for Corey to come up and hunt you down, but great racing between you two, and we knew it was going to come down to a battle for that, for timing and strategy with that last pit stop.
Yeah. So me and my teammates, we were discussing when we wanted to come down, and we kind of figured from the previous green flag stop that we had, we were going to cut it in half, so probably come around 110 the 112 range. And I knew between Matt and Corey, it was really going to be us to determine like who was going to be the leader at the end of this. So when I heard Matt say that he was pitting, I was like, all right, well, I'm coming next time by, not only for the win, but it made for the bracket very exciting for our head-to-head. I didn't think I had to finish second for it, but anyway, so he came down, and so did I, and I came out in front of him, and I knew he was going to push to get back by me, but the thing I wasn't counting for was Corey staying out. I think it was like 6 or 7 laps he stood out longer than us, but the fresh tires, he said he was driving pretty hard with the fresh tires, but they were just fresh enough to get by both of us, and I couldn't get back to him.
Yeah, I think what certainly helped you is that your last pit stop was just sub 15 in the box, about 14.9. When Matt Robinson came down, he actually wound up with a 15.43, so nearly half a second lost in the box. And you know how it is under a green flag pit stop, that's an eternity.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. So I knew on, especially I had to maximize my time on the entry to on the green flag pit stop. And I think I did a pretty good job. And I mean, obviously, I think I did a pretty good job by the way it turned out.
Absolutely. Well, again, congratulations on your second place finish. Any shout outs tonight?
First I just want to shout out Matt for going head to head with the bracket. Made the bracket very entertaining and very clean between both of us, the way we both were driving tonight. Big shout out to my other two teammates, Matt Robinson for a great run, and then Alex Vergette. I know he didn't have the greatest run in the world, but he stuck it out, and I don't know what the points situation looks like for him, but hopefully he's looking pretty good for the last two races.
Well, I'm sure we don't have that information right now, but I'm sure we'll catch it up before we go live next week. But congratulations on your second place finish.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
You got it. All right, so we'll bring into the booth the winner of tonight's South Point 200 here at Las Vegas, Mr. Corey Bunch.
Oh my gosh, man. Don't call me out and mention I'm like a loser I am, but I did shed a few tears when I crossed that start finish line. Oh my gosh. I just lost for words. I can't believe it.
No, I think you did a great job. You put yourself in position. That's half the battle, right, man? I mean, is being able to put yourself in a position to, if something happens, to take advantage of it. And you've got these guys in front of you, both desperately wanting to win. Both Nick and Matt battling it out door to door, and the sky opened up.
Yeah, it was kind of like one of those things where it was the last year repeat with me trying to chase down Jeffrey Brogdon, but that was like a tire strategy there, and I caught him within like 2 to go and was able to punch my ticket in last year. And I've been telling everybody all week, I said, I know everyone thinks I'm just a shoo-in for this championship, but you just never know in this series, and it's just awesome to, just to make it to reality, to be able to compete for the championship now in Phoenix. So I was content with just being the round of 8 and at this point playing with house money. And so, yeah, Mama, we're going for a championship.
Well, congratulations. Yeah, I think with the finishing, with especially when the first race of each round happens, you hope you don't do yourself a lot of harm, and you certainly didn't, obviously punching your tickets. But a lot of drivers who are not so lucky. There's Jordan Wenzel had a tough night tonight. Jordan Booth had a tough night tonight. Michael Whitley had a tough night tonight. So we're going to see a shakeup in those points.
Yeah, we will for sure. Because, excuse me. Yeah, I think what was the difference with the changing of the race was just when Booth and even Forget, they sped on pit lane, and I kind of opened the door. Mm-hmm. Yep. But I was just kind of thinking to myself, well, if it goes green from here on out, just pit later than everybody, then I could have that tire advantage going into the end of the run. And I think that's what helped out there too. And like I said, when Matt and Nick was racing each other hard, it kind of helped my cause. When I saw them both go in the middle of high in 3 and 4, I just kind of just shot it down and try to pass them on the apron and kind of just scoot away from there. And at that point, I just figured, man, if there's no caution, I've got this. But yeah, just thank everybody for Full Throttle Motorsports for just being behind this number 77 Benjamin Moore Ford Mustang. Just absolutely awesome. Just a teamwork. Everyone's got each other's back. All the people who thought I was just a shoo-in, they believed in me when I didn't. It's just awesome. And then just everybody from the league, congratulating me. It's just a huge win. And it's Scott and Josh with this league, them putting it out there and top tier. Not a lot. Not one of those things where you have like finishes like that, but man, it was. I'm just glad to be a part of it, man.
You got it. Well, there's your winner, Corey Bunch, punches his ticket to the playoff finale in Phoenix with his win here in Las Vegas in the South Point 200. Congratulations, Corey, and we'll see you next week. A little bit of a different experience next week.
Yeah, over at Homestead, which that's a big good track for me as well. Let's see if we could try to get us another win. We've got the momentum now, and we've got nothing to really worry about till Phoenix. So let's get
That's
it.
right. You're playing with house money for sure.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right, that's it for tonight here in the iNRS Racing Series. We thank you for tuning in, whether you've watched us live or you're going to watch us on replay. We thank you for staying and tuning in. Please subscribe to our channel so we can keep you up to date as to other things that are happening within the IWM Broadcast Network. And John, any parting words?
I just want to say congratulations, Corey. Great race, great strategy. Definitely the winning strategy there to beat out Nick Alves and to win over Matt Piracini. And excited to see what next week's going to bring at Homestead. It's going to be a fun track. It's going to be another driver potentially could be locked in. We don't know. So you're going to want to tune in next week and find out.
All right. Well, that's it for the guys up here in the booth with the IWM Broadcast channel. We thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
All right. Good night, folks.